I have with me Miss Nandini Chatterjee. She is former Chief Marketing and Communication Officer, PwC. Welcome, ma'am.
Thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us. As a former CMO at PwC, you have played a key role in shaping the company's marketing strategies. Can you please give some examples where you played a key role and the campaigns became successful?
I mean, there are so many campaigns. I was working for all the business verticals. So I really can't pinpoint and say anything in specific. But yes, if I look at something very interesting last year, it was the 150th celebration that we did for PwC in India and used it to build positivity about the brand, to talk about the culture at PwC, so it's a lot of good brand building that we did around something so good as the 150th year.
That's great. Marketing trends are constantly evolving, as we know. So, how do you stay informed about the latest marketing trends? And can you provide an example of a time when you integrated a new marketing approach or technology to align the changing industry dynamics?
See, to stay informed, there is just one way: read. And content is coming from so many sources. You really need to take out time to read and figure out what interests you. And I would actually say go beyond what interests you. Because to be able to advise your stakeholders, you need to have an overall knowledge. To be able to connect the dots, you can do it only if you have a lot of knowledge beyond your own domain. So
Yes.
attend events like this, attend events which are not necessarily related to your field. That is one. But in trends, one thing that I'm seeing now, and more marketeers are already on that bandwagon, is the power of the digital influencers.
Yes.
That's becoming really very big. People have to crack how to make use of it, because at the end of the day, the influencer has to remain authentic, true to the people who are following
Yes.
him, and then how does it align with the brand values? So that is what we need to be looking at.
That's true. Ma'am, PwC is a global brand with a strong reputation. Can you discuss your approach to brand building and maintaining a consistent brand image across diverse markets?
I would prefer, let's leave out the bit about
Yeah,
PwC.
sure.
Yeah, I
ठीक है.
think you can leave that. Yeah.
Yeah. And in the digital age, companies are increasingly focused on digital marketing and online presence.
Yeah.
You just said
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
How have you, like in your work, have you embraced digital transformation in marketing?
Hugely. I mean, if I look back at where we started even 5 years back, we were still educating and raising awareness internally about the power of using digital platforms. Today, while we still believe traditional has a lot of value, and the credibility, no doubt, is very high, but digital is the first place, because if you look at it, your own brand handles is something you own. And the power of owned media is always huge, because you can put out the narrative you want. The narrative is in your control. So use that. But then it goes on beyond your own handles to even, as the performance marketing piece, which is how can you be on various other platforms where your customers are coming. So it's very complex, the entire journey of a customer. And you've been talking about CDP and all over here also in some of your discussions. To understand the customer journey, where you reach them, how do you communicate, how do you use AI to actually customize the messaging for them. I mean, there is just so much that's happening on the technology front. Very interesting times.
Yeah. In your role, you likely encountered various challenges, including potential PR crisis. We are just discussing about it in the thing. Can you share a specific instance where you had to manage a marketing or a communication crisis, and what strategies did you employ to mitigate the situation?
I mean, there are, for most communication professionals, there'll be number of, whether it's sensitive situations or crisis situations that you go through. Um, Rather than elaborating on any, I think the most important thing for any communication professional is stay cool, stay composed, think through, get your facts right, work with your legal team, have as many scenarios as possible ready in advance. But when it actually happens on the ground, you'll find you need to be agile and you need to think on your feet and you need to react. But you need to remain cool. You'll find the world around you is getting agitated. Don't get agitated.
That's a good message and a good advice to everyone. Ma'am, AdGully has started a offbeat session also, section in the .com. So there are some fun questions I'll be asking you.
Okay?
So, as a child, what career did you aspire to,
To be
pursue when you grew up?
Okay, I come from a family of doctors,
Oh,
and it was assumed, whatever was that I would be a doctor. But both my brothers, who are doctors, and my father, as we went along, saw that I was more creative, and I had a slightly different bent of mind, and so they advised that no, maybe this is not the area for you, and so I went on to the area I took up.
they were right. What has been your biggest life lesson?
Biggest life lesson. Huh. I don't know. I mean, I just feel enjoy what you're doing. So I wouldn't call it a life lesson, but if I'm doing something, I need to have fun in doing that. I need to enjoy it. And I would always be looking at, uh, can I add value to it? And that itself gives me fun. So that's all that matters. Enjoy what you're doing is one life.
Yes, true. If you had the opportunity to take a 1 year long break from work, what will you do in that year?
I don't think I can take a 1 year long break. I would get bored. But yes, what I'm doing just now, I have my podcast, Comms and Conversations, and where I get to talk to senior people from our fraternity. And I talk about the trends in marketing, communication, PR. And frankly, that really excites me because I go beyond my own area. I get to talk to people, I get to learn, I get to hear of so many new things. Frankly, I would, if I was to actually move away for a moment, I would just build on this further and further.
That's great. Could you suggest a must-read book for youngsters?
Well, of late I'm reading Harsh Pamani's books on influencers and booming brands. I would suggest this is the time to read about influencers, read about digital influencers.
True. If given the chance, whose shoes would you step in for a day?
Whose shoes? I really don't know. I mean, we can leave that. We don't need to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
A
I mean,
business.
frankly, why would I want to step into anybody's shoes? I'm happy with what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. I'm happy with what I'm doing, and I would just, yeah. I mean, why? Why step into somebody else's
Be in
shoes?
your shoes.
I'm happy doing what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah. A business secret you live by.
A business secret I live by. Business secret. I would say I've always believed in the power of relationships. And to me, that's extremely important. And probably the second thing I have always believed in is attitude. I believe the attitude of a person is very important. It cannot be taught. Aptitude, competencies can be taught. I think these are two things which I bank a lot on: relationships and having right kind of people working with you.
That's important. Yes. Three things that you always carry with you.
Okay, mobile, money, I guess so. And what else do I carry with me?
Your attitude.
Okay, okay. Yeah, actually, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's always about enjoying what I'm doing. I think that's been very important for me. Yeah.
And that would be all. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.